Other legal matters at this hour. Judgment has been reserved in the urgent application to interdict two regulations of the Limpopo Liquor Act. Continuing at the High Court in Polokwane, the regulations restrict the sale of alcohol from 12 o'clock midnight daily and increase liquor trading license renewal fees. Perhaps for more on this, let's bring in Ntimane, the convener of the National Liquor Traders Council, perhaps to weigh in on the judgment. A very good afternoon to you, Lucky. Thank you for your time with us here on the SABC.
Thank you so much and appreciate the opportunity.
Perhaps on the back of what's transpired after that urgent application, we can get your reaction at this point. You know, how are things faring in relation to the case at hand? We know that there's obviously issues coming to the fore. You and other parties wanting to stop the midnight law, as it's been dubbed. We also want to not restrict the trading hours. There's also issues about license renewal fees and public participation. Walk us through what's been unearthed.
So for us, the issue was really, the lack of consultation by the Limpopo government in respect to this, what we call the Limpopo Midnight Law. And we felt that, government of that province could have done better, to talk to the affected parties in this regard, the liquor traders. And that was not done. And we saw today in the arguments that were advised by our legal teams that, it was difficult for the government side to even defend, themselves with regards to what we now have to deal with as the Midnight Law. But also, if you look at the reasons that are being advanced, even in their court papers, as to why we have to close at 12 instead of 2 a.m., it doesn't make even scientific sense. It does not even make common sense. We are left to wonder as to the real reasons behind, these rushed, regulations and the Liquor Act that the province felt that is good for the province, which we believe that, it's actually a trend that is going to create a lot of joblessness, but also destroy a sector that is the biggest employer in that province. So we feel that, the case that we presented, the merits of our case warrants that we will be able to suspend this Liquor Act in its entirety. And we also appreciate that we're able to ventilate our matter in court, because obviously we could not see eye to eye with the government when we tried to consult with them so that we could prevent having to go to court. So we went to court as a last resort because the uncurrent government of Limpopo didn't give us any option whatsoever, but we had to resort to the court so that we can assert, the rights of our members.
All right, so now that judgment has been reserved in the urgent application, perhaps you could speak to the effects that the regulations to date have had on the local industry as well. What are the sentiments on the ground from those operating across the value chain in that sector?
It has created a lot of confusion. People that now were used to closing at 2 a.m. as per the old license regulations, now we're not sure whether they must close at 12 a.m. Maybe now that I have this opportunity on this platform is to say to all the liquor traders in Limpopo that they must close at 2 a.m. And this is as a result of the license regulations not having been gazetted, but also not having been promulgated in a sense of them being proactive or active in the current dispensation of the new law. So liquor traders can continue to trade till 2 a.m. pending the finalization of this case. And this is something that we had mentioned earlier in our first appearance on the 8th of August that legally we are bound to sell as per the previous regulations until there is an announcement that is made on this particular matter.
The MEC for Economic Development, Rogers Monama, saying that there was adequate time to make submissions in terms of the new legislation. But obviously now there also claims that, the public were not consulted. So at this point, perhaps as we await the outcomes, what is the alternative that you propose? There were sightings of issues in relation to GBV, instability in society, child abuse, amongst other issues, justifying the implementation of the law. And so at this point, perhaps as you aim to work with government, what are the alternatives you're proposing perhaps to move forward?
Firstly, there was no consultation, and the court papers clearly indicate that. If they say that there was consultation, let them come to the public and show what kind of consultation or participation they feel that happened, because we are not aware of that. But also, if you look at the reasons that are being advanced, they are more comedical rather than scientific. There is nothing to back the reasons why Limpopo will think that it's a special province in the country to want to ignore the night economy, which is driven largely by the alcohol industry, and close at 12 a.m. instead of 2 a.m. There isn't any reason whatsoever. Maybe this was a decision that was driven by emotions. We don't know. We're yet to find out. But I think the judgment in its in its final format when it comes through next week will solely indicate, the gaps that exist in the response of the Limpopo government with regards to our case. But also we've been joined by other parties in this matter, because this is not just the issue that affects liquor traders, but it also affects the value chain. There's a lot of people that are dependent on this industry for survival and also for their livelihoods. It is not just about selling liquor, but it's about the entire province and the dependency that people have on this industry to be able to put food on the table. Hence, we made a call to the MEC to say, scrap this thing, it doesn't make sense. In a province where the government there is even failing to create jobs, now the only thing that you feel that you need to do to prop yourself as doing something better for the community, you then want to destroy jobs. It doesn't make sense.
All right, Lucky, thank you for those sentiments. Joining us here on the SABC on the back of judgment now being reserved in the urgent application to interdict to regulations of the Limpopo Liquor Act happening at the High Court in Polokwane. Lucky Ntimane is obviously the convener of the National Liquor Traders Council, weighing in on the judgment and really where to from here.